Hello, gorgeous Virgo family, and welcome to June 2020. This is a month to remember. We have two eclipses. We have Mercury beginning its retrograde, we have Venus finishing up her retrograde, and a whole bunch of things in between, including the summer solstice up here in the northern hemisphere. So, this is, the wisdom with this month is that we often kind of brace ourselves. We're like, oh, there's eclipses. Oh no, there's retrogrades. That must mean something bad, right? But the logic and the power of things like eclipses and retrogrades is that they have us tap into the mysteriousness of life, into the transformative positions of life. Culturally, we've gotten very comfortable with direct action, with feeling like we have control and power, and remembering that we have this ability to create from a more mysterious plane is a lot of what happens when we're working with energy like this in June. And this is definitely setting the table for the second half of this year and closing out and understanding and culminating and healing from everything that's happened in the earlier part of this year. So this is an important symbolic month for us to calibrate, to check in with our souls, to heal, to reconnect. And actually that's really the strongest message I have for Virgo energy at this time, is that this is a month of healing and reconnection and leaning into those things to allow us to set the table, to lay the path forward so that it's from a place of ease and love, and that we feel we've taken enough time to connect and heal and to hear ourselves fully, so that when we get into July and moving forward the second half of 2020, we have greater understanding and we're moving from a place that really serves us. The energy here, let's talk through it a little bit as I start to shuffle. We have a full moon in Sagittarius and a partial lunar eclipse there. That's in your fourth house, fellow mutable energy here. This is about, what feels good on the inside, what feels good in the spaces you don't share with everybody, and really reconnecting with what it is that means for you. We also have Mercury beginning its retrograde in Cancer on the 18th until July 12th. And this is going to be a time to reflect on your community, what you want your community to look like, what you want those around you, what you want that to feel and look like. This is a time to recalibrate that. And I shouldn't forget to mention that Mars and Neptune are meeting in your opposite sign of Pisces on June 13th to have a little meeting about what our dreams and our actions, are they in alignment? Are they in conversation? Or are they in two separate worlds? It's a really important time to check in with that, and of course, check in with your relationships. Four of Pentacles. Now, this has been a popular energy in the month of June as I've been working through these readings. The Four of Pentacles has shown up a lot, and I'm not surprised. Once again, what was I saying about this month, about these eclipses, about the logic of how we're moving into Cancerian season and closing out a Venus retrograde? That has us, it's just, you think about all the tumbling around that has been happening in the last 6 months and all the twists and turns and the not knowing. And you think about really how much you have changed. Even if on the surface you say, well, I've just been waiting and not knowing the last 3 months, I guarantee you it has changed you, and when you are coming full circle with an understanding of how that has changed you, you sit in a more reserved space like the Four of Pentacles for a moment. You culminate. Now, the shadow side of this is that you can hold yourself in this orbit for a lot longer than you need to, afraid that if you take another step, it'll get cut off or destroyed because you're not ready, or you're not allowed to, or you're not worthy of it. So this is a check-in point to see where you may be a little scared to move forward, but also in incorporating giving yourself credit for what it is that you have accomplished and understood at a deeper level. Now, this is also when I think about Venus retrograde in Gemini, and we're in the second half of it here in June, and we have the north node of the moon in Gemini, we have the sun moving through Gemini, another mutable energy here. Gemini energy for Virgos has everything to do with how you move through the world, what you're allowing yourself to do in the world. You know, how you make your money, how you share of yourself or don't share of yourself, what's serving you, what's not. And you know, the Four of Pentacles has everything to do with us holding ourselves in a rigid position with what we're allowed to do and what we're allowed to share. And so there is kind of just this reflection going on that. So we move through all that Gemini energy, and then very quickly we move straight into Cancerian energy. And like I said, this is a vision of the kind of community and environment you want to be in. You know, on that grander scale, on that bigger scale, what do you want all the people around you to look and feel like? What do you want when you walk out your door and life is moving? What kind of feeling do you want to have? Are you in the location and in the community and in the support groups? Or not even support groups, but just having the support that feels right for you on the community level. We have the sun moving into Cancer on the 20th. We have a new moon in Cancer and solar eclipse on the 21st, Hermit. And then we have Neptune going retrograde in your oppositional sign of Pisces, which has this, you know, it takes the fog away from how we want to relate to others. So there's a lot of energy here about how you want to connect with others, how you want to relate to others, where it is that maybe you've been feeling you've had to self-edit or pull back. Also healing around past connections, past relationships in order to make space for new ones. High Priestess. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card. We're going to stick with 4 cards for the month of June because we need very crisp, simple, clear, and 2 of Pentacles. Very interesting combo, my Virgo family. Being a Virgo moon, I'm definitely writing this with you. This is a really nuanced and interesting month for Virgo. In fact, it's kind of hard for me to even put my finger on exactly what it is that's wanting to crystallize here. It will be obviously very personal for each of you. But this is an important time to check in with what it is that is really serving you. There is a skin shedding going on, very much like the snake wriggling out of its skin and leaving that shell behind. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it's time for this next shiny new level to percolate and come to fruition. So all of the 4 of these cards for you this month have to do with reflection and have to do with weighing things out and understanding things. And what I get from it is there is a big, solid, kind of ancient wisdom message coming from within you. You know, the call is coming from inside the house is kind of the feeling we're getting here this month. You know, this is not about shakeups in the world around you. This is not about things getting blocked because of circumstance or other people and their actions. None of that's really happening here. This is a conversation that has so much to do with, you know, very radically honest conversations with yourself. And just letting yourself hear the message that's been wanting to come through. So clearly there's something that wants to change here in your life. You want change. You crave change. You desire change. And you may feel a little scared that if you let yourself go through this change, everything will fall apart and it won't pay out. Now, here's the thing. That's normal. I think anytime we want to open a next chapter, we have that thought. It's just that we forget how much we felt that way before we make the change because we have very good pain suppressing, like memory suppressing faculties within us, so that we keep living, right? It's kind of like every time I think about going back to graduate school to get another degree, because I've already gotten one, I think, oh, school wasn't that hard or scary or bad. Like, it was easy. It was fine. I could do it again. I have to sit down and remember that, like, I cried a lot. I was stressed all the time. It was challenging. Anyway, it's really natural to have 4 of Pentacles energy. That's my point. It's very natural to have 4 of Pentacles energy right before we are maybe shifting things around a little bit. And the Hermit and the High Priestess here, these are really those ancient wisdom voices. Now, these are almost primordial. Of course, Hermit energy is tied to Virgo. and High Priestess is very Piscean. And that axis is getting lit up here between you and then with the action going on over in Pisces this month, including Mars moving through Pisces. But these voices, you know, it's not about like self-isolating and staying home. I mean, maybe that is something that's happening for you in June. It's often an easy conduit for our human selves to understand the wisdom by self-isolating and living in this. But this goes to a much more basic, crisp, clear, profound thing, which is that this is an inner knowing that you already have. Your inner sage, you know, your inner wise person's already given you this message like 50 times probably. You know, it's kind of that thing where you find yourself calling your closest friend or whoever, and you're running up against the same fatigue around a project or situation, you know, and you're like, oh, you know, I just don't want to schedule myself like this anymore. And if you really notice, it's like you've had this conversation before. Maybe it happens every 3 months, maybe it happens twice a year, maybe it happens every single month. But you start to notice like this message has come up many, many times. Now this eclipse season and this solstice season, this is a really great time for that to click in and be like, this isn't new information. This is something that has been emanating deep from within me for a long time. And this isn't just like one-off irresponsible desire for change. You know, this isn't something where it's just like, I just want to goof around. This is something that's really true and deep for you that isn't going anywhere. It's that phone in the back of the room, in the back of the house that you starts off with a quiet ring so you can kind of ignore it and is now screaming at you. Pretty soon that phone is going to like jump off the table and start hopping down the hall. So that's what I'm seeing here. Now, Two of Pentacles is another interesting one. It's another one of these kind of nervous to make a change cards. So it's really interesting here because you got the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. A little nervous. Put yourself out there. And then these two very wise ancient wisdom cards saying, but you know. And here's the thing. I think this point in the process is really important. I think we want to criticize it and say, well, I should already know this. I should already be doing this a certain way. Why do I have to have this time of hesitancy when my inner voice is clearly telling me such great inner guidance? We need this point. We need that little bit of contrast. We need that time to integrate. We need that time to heal and connect. We need that time to hear ourselves very clearly so that when we take action, which as we close out eclipse season, as we finish up the Venus retrograde, and, you know, even in the midst of this Mercury retrograde, we feel fully understanding of what it is we are undertaking, and we feel at peace and in trust of what it is that we are undertaking. And that is essential. That's, you know, any sustainable change needs to come from a place of an inner knowing and an inner accepting of our process that does not come from pushing ourselves too quickly and does not come from denigrating that part of ourselves that's a little scared to move forward. But you are being asked to move forward. And I would say, you know, by the time we get to the end of the Mercury retrograde around July 12th, there's a lot will have changed, a lot will have shifted, and there will be more of this kind of open breath of fresh air, lightness to the energy. Now, I have a solstice blessing for you, Virgo loves, and I'm really excited to share it with. So here it is. I'll be toasting you with my water. May friendship and support surround you. May new projects and ideas rise to the surface of your thoughts. May you feel free to change and grow into your next shape. May you feel like the liberation of trusting yourself. May it be juicy and full of love. Yes. Cheers. Solstice time is a great time to reflect, to connect, to open up to the next level in our lives. Like I said, to integrate the last 6 months. And how perfect is it that it's happening during an eclipse season so that we can round out, culminate, and peacefully welcome in the next chapter. I would love to see you over on Patreon. This is where we are deep diving. It has been such a blessing to be doing that work over there. It has changed my life. It has helped me so much, and it's helping me grow so much. And also, it's just helping to support me doing this work on this side of the of the internet. But I would love to see you over there. We're doing a deep dive with Venus every single week right now. We're also going to be going deep into these eclipses. I'm really excited to be activating those and sitting with you with those while they're happening. So if you are interested in any of that, I would love to see you over there. You can find me on Instagram at SarahVerba and also on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I'd love to see you at any of those places. And you can also, of course, find PinkLune's gorgeous, lovely jewelry on her Etsy shop. I will leave her link below as well. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you very soon for the next Moon Magic and for all the adventure ahead.